One of the first things I noticed when I came to Cuba, being a beer enthusiast, is that you go to a restaurant and they'll bring you a cup and a beer, and then they always pour the first bit of the beer into the cup for you, and it's a bad pour. It's from really high up, and it just ends up, you have a cup half full of foam. And we thought we would go to other places and see if they do this everywhere, or if it's just an isolated incident.
Yeah. Right. We are getting set to go out for our research.
Gathering our research fund here. Hopefully we're hoping to get a grant to reimburse this.
Right. Here I have $5 CUCs and a wad of National.
And
Ben's got substantially more.
I guess we'll head off to the lab.
Do some field research. Notice when he pours the beer, he doesn't make any effort to reduce the amount of head that appears. He doesn't tip the glass, and he doesn't pour from low height, and he just pours it in real fast.
His method is completely void of any sort of technique.
Now at this restaurant you can see another point. They don't even fill the glass for you, it's just a little tiny bit that they pour on the bottom.
I can understand maybe it's just the courtesy of opening the can for you, but I don't think it's necessary to dribble some foam into your cup.
Now here we actually went to a bar as opposed to just sitting at a table in a restaurant. So you'd think that this lady is a bartender instead of a waitress, maybe she can pour better. But no, we had coasters and a nice chilled glass, everything you should have at a bar, but we still had low quality pour. They didn't bring us a beer here, or a glass here, they brought us a beer.
It's the first time that's ever happened to me, actually.
Yeah, me too.
They've always brought a glass.
So I guess we're just taking a break from research and having a beer. Cheers.
Here we are at the Malia, where we paid twice as much for a beer as it costs at all the other places, and we thought that maybe we'd get what we paid for and have a better pour.
But instead, we got the same old, same old. So you can see from our research that the pourers in Cuba did not put any effort at all into reducing the amount of head that occurs when you pour a beer. They just flat out poured it into the cup.
I think maybe in Canada, beer is just valued more in general, maybe, or at least the quality of the pouring, the effort provided. So then we went and we asked a couple Canadians without telling them, instructing them in any way, and we got them to pour some beer for us.
Now here's the first of the Canadians who we got to pour for us, who shall remain nameless. Now, notice when she goes to pour, she tilts the cup a little bit and pours a lot slower than they did, which reduces the amount of head.
Yeah, just a little more tender love and care.
Although I will give this to the Cubans, they did pour significantly faster.
Yeah.
So I guess there's pros and cons to both approaches.
See here, this time we have a cute dog in the background.
And also significantly better lighting to see the beer pouring, which is, once again, a lovely pour by Canadian standards. So beer is poured differently in Canada than it is in Cuba. What's a big deal? Kind of seems trivial, actually. But I think it's just one of the many things, small things, that'll stand out to you when you come to Cuba. And it's just an indicator of the huge differences between the cultures.
Beer pouring doesn't seem like something that matters that much, but it is one of the things that I noticed right away, and I think that speaks to how we are in our own little cultural bubble at home, and that something so small, just because it's different, just jumps right out at you. It's not the way that we do things at home. It's not that big of a deal, but it just shows how stuck we are in our own ways, and just thought that is one of the many, many differences between Cuba and Canada.